pruning fruit trees.
Hi, I'm Kelly Emberg, and I'm here to make your life simpler. And today we're going to prune fruit trees. And I've got Hudson Elliott. He works just around the corner at this garden supply center, and he's going to help me with mine. He needs a lot of help. So he should be here any minute.
Trimming this tree first. Looks like a nectarine.
All right, so let's start with the tools.
Tools of the trade. A good pair of clippers, that's always the most important one.
Pruners.
And something to clean them with. Actually, in between trees, you want to spray them down with rubbing alcohol or dip them in a bleach solution. It's the old days, they used to call it dip and cut. You dip it in something and then do your cut, because otherwise you can move these diseases around from tree to tree. Good pair of lopping shears, nice and sharp.
Right.
And of course, a nice hand saw. This one happens to be a quick saw from Corona, a really good saw.
Okay, great. So I've got all those in my garage.
Yep. And if you have a big tall tree, then you need a pole saw. But generally, the idea of all this pruning we're doing is to make the tree short enough that you don't have to use a pole saw, because if you had to use a pole saw, you wouldn't be able to reach the fruit.
That's true, and the birds will.
Yeah, exactly. So you're feeding the birds.
You could grow for some birds. Why not, right?
All right, well, this tree's got way too much growth in the middle of the tree.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of work my way in there by lopping off a few branches.
Okay. Where does the fruit come on these?
The fruit bears on nectarines on the wood that was produced the previous year. So that's going to be along these ones that have these double, triple buds on them.
So for instance, what's one that's only 1 year old?
One that's only 1 year old. These ones are basically the nice, clean-looking new growth.
Okay.
You can see on some trees where the ones that produced last year, like along that stick right there, you see those old kind of used up buds on there. Okay. Those flowered and fruited last year.
Oh, so these are the ones you take off?
Yeah, those are the ones you take off. Some of the peach trees, you'll actually see the little base from the peach stuck on the tree. That makes it real easy to figure out which branches to cut off.
So you want the new branches and cut off the old
Right,
branches.
and you don't want too many suckers coming up in the middle either. That's all the new growth they hear in the middle. It's an old term for them. It's water growth. There's a million names for them. Like this right here is a classic example of a crossing branch.
Yes.
That's coming right through the other branch. You definitely don't want that. It's one of the good ideas to do is you make a dozen cuts or so, and then you stand back, look at the tree, assess what it looks like, and okay, go back into it.
Because you want it to have a certain shape.
Right.
So
upside down umbrella.
Upside down umbrella.
It's like take an umbrella, and if you imagine an umbrella sitting upside down and all the little ribs on the umbrella, that should be all your main branches on your tree.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's great. So you try to cut it as close as you can to
as close as you can to the trunk of the tree, yeah. Yeah, a good sharp pair of loppers is excellent. These are actually vineyard loppers. They're real lightweight.
Okay, so see, you're taking all the center branches, or most of them out.
Most of the stuff out of the center of the tree.
The big tall ones, okay.
You always want to leave, when you see these new trunks growing like this, or new main branches, you always want to leave a few of them, because as some of the older branches get diseased and die off, you need replacements.
Okay.
You always have to think a couple years ahead. These are just starting to get sky high.
Okay. So what's a good height to trim them to?
In general, you're trying to make all your fruit at a point where you can reach it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen orchards where they're pruned at 6 feet tall, and the trees are 12 feet across.
Okay. How old do you think this tree is?
This tree is 1, 2, 3,
what?
4,
That's how you do it?
5, 6 years old. You count where the cuts have been made over the years. The main trunk was the first year of its growth. The second year it grew out to about here, and somebody cut it off right there.
Okay.
Third year it grew to here. This was a cut location. You can see the little stub sticking out where it grew out from there. It was cut here. That's the 4th year. It was cut there. That's the 5th year. Actually, that's where I cut it last year. And then this is the last year's growth. So this tree was probably planted 4 or 5 years ago, and it was about 1 to 2 years old when it was planted. These two branches are competing for light and space. So this one that I'm about to drop on top of you is gonna come off right here.
What about bird netting to protect your fruit?
Bird netting is great for protecting the fruit. That's another reason to keep the tree shorter.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put netting on a tree that's 15 feet tall.
It's true.
You know, one of the other things you can do too is that, so many people love to have the birds around, is net half the tree.
And let them eat
let the birds eat the other half.
But they fly in there.
Oh, what I always do with my netting, I bring it all the way around the tree underneath and tie it closed with clothespins.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, I do it as soon as the fruits, as soon as you see the first fruit get a hole pecked in it. And if you notice all the cuts over the years, all of them you always cut them towards branches that face outwards. So that's all part of that idea of getting that
the umbrella.
Upside down umbrella.
Okay, so for instance, would I cut that one right there?
Yeah, exactly.
Can this do it?
No.
Okay.
That's what the lopping shears are for.
Gosh, where's my lopping shears when I need them?
About that size of branch is about the limit of how big you should be cutting the lopping shears. And for a typical homeowner, I mean, I'm used to cutting a lot of things lopping shears. If you cut anything bigger than about a ½ an inch, a lot of times you don't cut fast and precise, you can smash the wood, and that causes makes a spot where disease can get in.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Which you
It's
don't
a good
want.
tip. It's a very good tip. Okay, Hudson, what can I do now? I mean, show me what I can cut, because I've got these guys.
Yeah. Any of these little dead spurs, like, as a matter of fact, there's where you can actually see one of the little nubs from where the fruit was.
Okay, so then I
those
take
come
that
off,
off.
yeah.
And how close? Right here?
Right up against the, yeah,
right
exactly.
up against.
Cut.
Clean and close.
Clean and close.
Like clean and close. And this looks like it's dead.
Yep, and yeah, anything that's dead gets cut off.
Now look, is this crossing? Would you consider that crossing?
Yeah, that's going vertical, and generally the vertical ones you don't want too much.
Look at me, I'm like a professional now. It's great. You can trim your trees now. So what about these inside here? Are these okay?
The little thin whippy looking ones, those generally don't produce fruit.
So take it off.
Most of those get taken off.
I'm taking them all off, baby.
Yeah.
No fruit, you go bye-bye. Goodbye.
Well, the other thing too is people go, oh, you cut so many branches off the tree. Well, how many fruit can you possibly eat?
And also the less fruit on, or the less
fruit,
branches, the
better
bigger.
quality.
Yeah, the better quality and the bigger the peach, right?
Yeah, it looks like it had peach twig borers, and then it got a fungus on the leaves afterwards.
And you said to take it off like that? Just like crumple.
And actually the ends of any of these branches that have the black on them like that need to be cut off because the peach twig borers probably laid their eggs in there.
And that's why you have to get it off the ground too, right?
Yep.
So if this had it, it looks like this had it. Do I go all the way down to here?
All the way down to that next twig.
This one right here?
Yeah, to the one that's shooting outward.
This one?
Yeah, right there.
Okay, there we go. Yep. Because why? Because it's going out.
Because everything on the top there is ugly too.
See, now it's going to go out. And it was ugly, and we don't like ugly on our trees.
Yeah, that's one of the last things we'll do is generally all the spurs that are left you cut back by about a third. Because the best peaches and nectarines are usually formed in the middle third of the branch. So there's no point in having the end third. Not only that, if it's flowering out at the end, it tends to get heavy and fall off.
Interesting. So we're gonna clip off all these tips like this?
It's an old.
You're doing it right now? How you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of an old school. Oh no, I don't know that.
Too late.
The little ones you don't, but the bigger ones where they're like a big long whip coming out, if it's like a foot or 18 inches long, you cut off about 3 to 6 inches of it. Pruning fear is a very common problem, and you really can't do it all that wrong. I mean, the tree can always come back the following year. The chill.
Oh, the chill. That makes
we need
sense.
chill hours. You need nighttime temperatures below 45 degrees. Every tree has a certain number it needs.
Okay.
Most peaches and nectarines that we plant here in Southern California need between 300 and 500 hours. And this year we've had at least 200 so far. Actually here.
Do you count the hours?
I do at my house, yeah.
I'm going to put you on speed dial.
Pretty much anywhere there's agriculture, they have their gauges, and they'll tell you exactly how many hours of chill you've had so far that year. And
but at the end of the day, it either had it or it didn't.
Yeah, it's one of those things you sit there
can
and
torture
worry.
yourself.
You can worry about it all day long, or just go, oh well, I'm not going to get a whole lot of fruit this year. As a general rule, you're looking for ones that they look thick and plump and happy, and like they're going to make fruit next year.
Show me thick, plump, and happy.
This is a perfect one right here.
When you're saying thick, are you talking about this? Or
that diameter, yeah, exactly. Thick, and it has plump buds on it.
Okay. Plump buds.
But as you can see, the tree is starting to shrink. That's the other thing too, when you're pruning off the little twigs, you want to always try to prune towards where you leave a flower that's going downwards.
Oh, a flower.
Because when it comes time to thin the peaches, you're going to thin the ones that are facing upwards first, because if they're facing up and, well, good old gravity, they're going to tend to rotate around and snap off the tree.
Okay, so that's good to know.
They'll twist the branches, they can cause all kinds of trouble.
So when can I spray this?
As soon as we're done. It's kind of going back and forth on the organic concept, because it's healthy for us, but overuse of it can get into the waterways and be bad for lagoons and things like that. It's like at the homeowner scale use, if it's used correctly, it's not bad, but technically you should have sprayed it when the leaves fell off. But the most important spraying is right as the buds are cracking. When that's basically, they call it popcorn stage, when the little flower buds look like a little kernel of popcorn about ready to pop open.
Right.
And that's what helps prevent the peach leaf curl. The first thing you'll have to do though before you do that is clean up everything. Yeah, you gotta be careful with copper. It will stain stucco.
does.
I know a lot of people who have trees next to their houses and they spray it and they end up with their white stucco turning green. Yeah, you cut them at an angle.
Okay, good.
You always want to make sure the cut's at an angle so that water drains off.
That's what I thought it was.
The cut can be a 90-degree cut. The old days, they always said, oh, cut everything at exactly a 45-degree angle. Well, that doesn't make any difference. Yeah. What you want to do is cut it so that water drains off.
Okay. Now, we have tape around here and some tanglefoot.
Right, tanglefoot. You want to move that every year. Move the location of that on the trunk.
Okay, but that's good for ants.
Yeah,
are ants okay to come up here?
No, you don't want ants on your fruit trees.
Okay,
ants bring in all the other diseases that fruit trees get.
The aphids, huh?
Aphids, scale, mealybugs. Yes, copper would kill scale. Copper actually, as a dormant spray, takes care of a lot of things, mainly fungus diseases. But it also kills off shot hole fungus, which is caused by the shot hole borer, and it'll actually help stop shot hole borers.
Okay, good.
Another thing you can do too is spray dormant oil.
I have that too.
Yeah,
so
that's usually something you can do as a combination spray if you have the right kind of sprayer. Or you can do it as you spray the copper and wait a week or two and then spray the oil. So this tree's already gone into flower. Generally, once they're flowering, you don't want to prune them because they've already put all their energy up into those stems. You cut the branches off, it's just a lost branch. Also, the sap's flowing, so you don't want to have the tree literally bleed. And this tree, actually, shape-wise, it's in pretty good shape. There's a few crossing branches I'll cut out.
All right, so we'll just prune a little bit, but note to self, next year, prune it before it blooms.
Yeah, that's why I called you 2 weeks ago.
I know, and I was out of town. Well, you know what? Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I'm going to get lots of fruit, I hope.
As long as if we get some more cold this winter, we'll have lots of fruit.
And I'll clean everything up because I know you've made a big mess for me to clean up. Oh, well. Let's go. I gotta go clean up now. Yeah. I got lots of cleaning up.
Yeah, there's lots of mess. I'm good at making messes.
We're gonna go to the next tree and rake the next tree. Okay, now it's time to spray these trees. First the copper and then the horticultural oil. And you have to get one of these backpack sprayers. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. And remember Hudson said to spray the ground, so I'm spraying the ground. And that's it. Now I gotta do the rest of the trees. But I wanna say goodbye to you right now. And I'll see you next week. I hope I'm making your life a little bit simpler, and I hope you all are growing all kinds of stone fruit because they're delicious. I love it. See you next week. Bye.